Here's a simple method for creating your own chord progressions using just your ear. There's no music theory knowledge needed. I'll share a few chord names where helpful, but this is all about trusting your instincts above everything else. To begin with, start by finding your root notes. These will be the first notes in each of your chords. Just pick any spot on the fretboard and then try to find some corresponding notes that you like the sound of. I'll pick C for my starting note and then try going up or down the fretboard to see what sounds good to my ear. I like the sound of the first two notes together, so I'm going to stick with C and then go up to the E, which is the 7th fret on the A string. Next, we need to add some additional notes to turn these into proper chords. For this, you can do the same as last time and find a note that sounds good with your chosen root note. Taking my C note, I could try adding anything underneath the C. So if I played the 5th fret on the D string, that would be a power chord. I could go up to the 6th or 7th fret, or try going lower. It's really about finding what sounds good to your ear and matches the vibe you have in mind for your song. I really like the sound of the C and E together, which would be a major third, so I'm going to go with that for now. Let's try using that same shape for our second chord up on the 7th fret and see how they sound together. It's okay, but maybe a little odd for the sound I have in mind. I'm not really liking the jumpiness of the first chord to the second, although it could definitely work in certain contexts. I know that the C to E sounds good, so it must be my underlying note causing this. If I listen to how it sounds on its own, I can immediately hear that the jump from the E to A flat is what I'm not liking at the moment. All I need to do now is simply change the second note of my second chord. Again, I can just try going higher or lower to see what sounds good to my ear. So I could try going from the C to an E power chord. But that sounds a little bland to me. Instead, let's go back to the original shape and just drop the note down by 1 fret, then listen again. That sounds much better to me, so I think I'll go with that. Now, say I want to expand them further, I can just repeat that same step using the next string down. Going back to my starting chord, I have a C and E, so let's try adding 1 or 2 more notes underneath to add to this sound. I'll try using the same fret as my root note, as that's quite a comfortable position to form. That sounds nice, but maybe a little too bluesy for the sound I want. I'm looking more for a Midwest emo type sound, so I'll instead try shifting that note up by 1. That sounds perfect to me, as I now have a bit of dissonance added to this simple chord. And say I want to add 1 more note, let's just go with the 3rd fret, as my finger is already in that position. Now I can do the same process for my second chord. So I already had the E and G notes, a minor third. Let's now find 2 more to go along with this to keep a similarly full sound to my first chord. I'll try the same fret as my root note, so the 7th, and see what that sounds like. That seems much better to me over the bluesy sound that the C7 chord had earlier. And then 1 more note again, I'll just start on the same fret as it feels most natural to my current fretting position. And that sounds good to me. Let's try these 2 back to back and check how they sound. Now, say you want to add 1 more chord to this progression. Well, let's briefly run through that first step from earlier. My second root note is up on the E, so from here, let's find 1 final note that sounds good after this. Again, I could go higher or lower from here. I think I'll go lower to the 5th fret and split the difference. And we already have 2 shapes we can try in this position. So let's try the C shape first, but using D as my root note on the 5th fret. That sounds like it works nicely to me. So let's quickly check these 3 chords played as a progression. Now I'll play back everything I've just done, but in the context of a more fleshed out arrangement, so you can hear just how easy it is to come up with your own chord progressions simply by following your ear. If you'd like to expand your knowledge further on chords to use for punk, rock, and anything in between, then check out this video next.